Well, you asked Aditi.
Yeah.
It is a who's who of potential options to replace Jerry Jeudy as the receiver 2 because now he's wide receiver 1.
How many yards does Elijah Moore have, by the way?
Elijah Moore this season has 95 yards. Then
So
the next
Cedric Tillman is 9.
David Bell, who's out, has 27. Cedric Tillman has 9. Jalen Darden has 6. The question, though, not just for this Sunday. This is big picture for the season.
Yeah.
By the end of the season, who will the Browns wide receiver 2 be?
By the way,
read it one more time.
It's so bad. I even forgot. When Aditi said Jamari Thrash, I was like, oh, I forgot about that guy.
Wait, let me hear this.
I will read you all the receiving yards again. Now, Steve, take the graphic. We are just talking receivers. So Njoku and Akins, they don't really count for this. But Cooper, through 6 games, led the team with 250 receiving yards. Jeudy had 2 fewer, 248. Then a big drop-off. Akins is 3rd on the team in receiving yards with 98.
My God.
Elijah Moore 4th with 95. Njoku 5th with 89.
I mean,
Jerome
that is
Ford,
sad.
who doesn't count for this because he's a running back, has 87. Then Pierre Strong has 65. Then Deonta Foreman has 46. Then David Bell, who's injured, out for the year, has 27. Then Blake Whiteheart. I'm not quite sure who he is besides he's the guy who caught a touchdown against the Raiders.
White tight end.
He has 13. And then we get to the Browns' next 3 receivers. Cedric Tillman has 9. Jalen Darden has 6. And James Prochet has 3. Jamari Thrash does not have a reception.
Has he been active, Jamari Thrash?
He has not been active, which is important to note. So of all the options,
he will be
just
this
receivers,
week,
just receivers, who do you have the most confidence in to replace Jerry Jeudy as the wide receiver 2 moving forward?
First of all, we got to start by saying I have no faith in Jerry Jeudy replacing Amari Cooper as the number 1. And Amari Cooper this year was not playing like a number 1. He was not playing very well. I don't know, guys.
Oh, wait a minute.
There's really no – I have no faith in any of those guys. Do you?
You know what the sad thing is?
Yeah.
Is that they looked at their season last year and they said, you know what? This ain't – somebody in the Browns said, this ain't good enough. We got to be more of a pass team. And they scrapped everything just to be more of a passing team. And that's the numbers.
And, yeah,
the wide receiver.
They're not going to have – are they going to have –
terrible.
I mean, Jerry Jeudy's going to lead the team in receiving yards. Will he even have 700 yards?
First guys.
Well, yeah,
He's on pace for 750.
That 4,500.
That was playing with Amari Cooper.
Where are we at on the 4,500 now?
Guys.
What's the update?
This alone.
You don't want to know.
This alone in a PowerPoint format, like Kyle Shanahan, should get people fired.
Yeah.
This just Mikey McNuggets.
Yeah.
Just that 5-second breakdown of the yardage should get people fired.
Did you say we got 3 running backs before the 3 wide receivers?
Yes. Ford, Strong, and Foreman all have more yards than Bell, Tillman, Darden, Prochet combined. And if you combine Tillman, Darden, and Prochet, they have less than a third of the yards of all 3 running backs.
By the way, you're wrong. You're wrong, Mike. Jerry Jeudy is on pace for 703 yards.
Hold on.
6 games is more than a third of the season. They don't play 18.
Oh, I was thinking 18 weeks.
Jerry Jeudy is on pace for 703 yards, and he, assuming he hits 3 yards this week, will be the team's leading receiver.
Well, him and Deshaun do got some type of chemistry, though.
703 yards, Davis. That's what he's on pace for this year.
Hold on.
That's pretty awful.
Well, listen,
703 yards and 2 and 3/4 touchdowns.
If anything, Mikey McNuggets should be the happiest about the Cooper trade because he got an actual shot of actually being right.
That was my first thought, Thomas.
Cedric Tillman's second on the team. He's got 9. He's got 1 catch, right?
He had 1 game with 100 yards, and he's like second.
He has actually 3 catches for 9 yards. And he would have, listen,
he catches for 9.
It's mistaken because
yeah,
he dropped the one that hit him right in the chest against the Giants. That would have been 15 yards. If he actually caught that, he'd be right in conversation.
Oh, he'd be at 24 yards. He'd
I know.
be really killing it.
So let me tell you why this is a fireable offense. Because when you put this together and you start looking at it, it just shows me the ineptitude of what you guys are doing all year. This is worse than the 2022 snafu when they just said we're not going to get any D linemen. It's the same thing. I'm gonna read the names off here. But here's the problem.
You said
with
2020?
2022.
Okay.
Here's your problem with this wide receiver lineup. Is you've been telling us for 3 years, what's their favorite word? We like our receiving room.
Yeah.
He almost cussed.
I almost really literally cussed because that is so infuriating that you're a regular person. We are regular civilians. And for us to be able to identify.
Whoa.
We're not. We talk about not you, Tyler.
Okay.
You know what
I
I'm
appreciate
saying?
that.
But I've been crying, talking about your receiving core, and you thought you had some on Amari Cooper. Sean King just came on the show yesterday. He's like, why are you running deep routes on Amari Cooper? He can't run no more.
I've been saying that.
Jerry Jeudy ain't never been fast.
I said that too.
Like you had Donovan Peoples-Jones, and we talk about we won't trade him for nobody. The fact that y'all really for the last 7 years have been trotting in bums and
wait a minute, now you tripping. Wait, you can't do
Have
that.
these guys?
You can't
Donovan
do that.
Peoples-Jones had 1,000 yards here. He can't
He's
even make
not on the roster.
He can't even make a roster.
He didn't have 1,000. He had just shy.
Oh, whatever.
Hold on, these guys ain't on the roster, and it's just not at
What do
receiver.
you mean? Kadarius Hodges I just saw him do a game winner with the Falcons.
He's the 17th receiver over
Yeah, I
there.
mean,
He's
come on.
third.
No, he's not.
He's the 17th receiver.
He's
over
the
there,
third
Tyler.
guy.
No,
I
he's
think.
not. Hold on.
Let me tell you. When you leave the Browns, you go to the workforce. Where's Taven Bryan playing at right now?
David.
He was a first round pick.
Jordan Elliott,
He's in San Francisco.
Siaki Ika.
He just got
The Browns
cut.
just cut him off their practice squad.
I don't even know who Jay Martin is.
No
Heard
idea.
of him.
Isaiah McGuire.
He's still
Cardero
here.
Hodge has only had that one catch, essentially.
Remember,
Yeah, I mean, come
remember
on.
this
And
guy?
he's loved forever.
Remember this guy, Rochelle? You got a defensive tackle
Isaiah-
named Rochelle?
He was
Rochelle.
He's a TikTok.
He's a TikToker, yeah.
Hey,
And he's loved in Cleveland.
Tommy Togiai?
Hey, go Bucks.
Hey, listen, bro.
Tommy Togiai is working at McDonald's
I
down the
think
street.
he ain't on a practice squad.
No, he's working at McDonald's.
So
Saw him working there.
it
He
was a
on
whole
He was
year.
on like the Falcons practice squad.
It was a whole year in 2022 that you rolled out with these names. And then you told us we like our defensive line room until you lost a whole year, got smoked, and then said maybe we do need to have defensive linemen. So much so that they rehauled every single person on the D-line except for Myles Garrett.
Well, listen.
Yeah, sure.
Wait a minute. Let's fast forward. Let's fast forward to the wide receiver.
Hold on 1 second before you do that, because we got a little news here. I don't know if you've seen this, Mike.
No.
I don't know that it's news.
Nick
but-
Chubb is working. They're working on his limit, his workload.
Yeah. So Ken Dorsey spoke today. When asked about Nick Chubb, he said, quote, his workload is, quote, still a work in progress.
I told you.
We want to make sure that he's available for the long term.
I told you.
What that means exactly, who knows?
And so,
Let me finish this.
Go ahead.
This
Yeah, go ahead.
receiver.
Sorry.
So you made the point about the D tackles and all that. Let's fast forward to the wide receiver room. For 4 years, essentially, we've had different numbers of wide receivers. They went out and traded for some. They've acquired some in the draft. All of these things, and yet here we are today with essentially a mediocre.
No, it's the worst.
Worst.
It's the worst.
It's the worst receiving room in the game.
Okay.
No.
Now listen.
Game?
In the game.
Listen.
I take anybody else's roster. Go down the
Wait.
list. I'll take
G.
them.
Bush, we've been doing this topic for 8 minutes, and not a single one of you
Can I-
give me an answer on
can
who's
I
going to be number
finish?
2.
Because
Can I
there's no
finish?
legitimate candidate.
And that's why I'm saying it's the
This
worst
is
of
the
all. You
worst.
can't
It's
even
the
name a
worst.
Can I
second
finish
guy.
my
Go ahead.
thought?
Let me finish thought. I'll look up other teams'
Go ahead.
receivers.
My thought
Raiders
is,
is the only one that might be it.
listen, now everybody knows that I'm not one person that I would never say somebody should be fired. Never. But I do think that you have to look into the fact that Chad O'Shea is not developing guys. Because that don't make sense that you
And he's the only one that didn't get fired.
you have literally a rotation of different talent. You have had speed, you have big guys, you got guys that can catch in traffic, all of these guys. And we don't have an answer. None of them work. You didn't develop none of them to be successful in this league. Like at some point, you got to look at that guy and be like I said, I'm not saying fire him. I don't do that. I'm just saying you need to evaluate the situation,
But
reevaluate the situation.
I'm evaluating all of it. Are those guys any good? Did you draft anybody that was good? Then I'm going to look at the coach.
so you going AB and the coach.
AB didn't whiff. He don't. That's what I'm saying. He
I'm
didn't
not
whiff
like again. I don't. Nobody should be fired. I don't do that.
Why-
It should be reevaluated.
Tybus, it is egregious. The simple fact that he hasn't developed the defensive lineman either. Who?
Mike Hall, go Bucks.
Mike Hall has done nothing. The only hole
Yet.
I give you that yet. We're not gonna put. He's a rookie, but let me just tell you.
Yeah.
Who have they developed as a defensive lineman? Nobody. Who have they developed as receivers? Nobody. When you resort to one-year deals over and over and over again and trades to get your guys, that tells me you have a deficiency in the way that you identify these guys. And I'm just be honest with you. It's the nastiest receiving core in the game. I'm waiting for you, Bulls.
All right, here we go.
Listen,
You got one?
Now listen, I'm not saying the Browns are definitely not the worst,
he done looked at the rosters like,
but I got 3 wide receiving cores that can battle the Browns for the worst wide
Vegas
receiving
is
core.
up there.
Let me give them to you.
okay.
The Panthers.
No,
All right.
taking Leggett and Deontay Johnson.
Who they got?
They got Deontay Johnson, who's been a big bust the last couple of years.
Xavier Leggett.
Xavier
I
Leggett's
like
a rookie.
I like his upside.
Jonathan Mingo stole my baby.
Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen's hurt, but he's on the
I'll
right.
tell him. Give me the
That's
Panthers.
better.
Give me
I
the
gotta take the
Panthers.
Panthers.
Give me
I
the
gotta take
Panthers.
Y'all sick.
All right. Will you take the Browns over the Panthers?
No.
No. No.
All right. The next one in contention, you could have said the Bills, but now they got Cooper. So.
Definitely not better.
All right. The Broncos.
Cortland Sutton.
But
Tim Patrick.
let's face it, since that guy got hurt the
Tim
second year, he's
Patrick,
been
go.
nothing.
Think about it.
That's
They
true.
kept him over Jerry Jeudy.
That's true.
That's true too.
They got him.
First of all, I played with Cortland. Cortland's a dog, so
They got rid of him over the guy
The
you
rest
got.
of their receiving core is garbage.
They are bad. That's
Okay.
Marvin Mims Jr., Josh. I think it might be a tie.
I'm
But
taking
then again, you're right. I would take Cortland Sims over Jerry Jeudy.
Sutton.
They're tied from
Cortland
2 on.
Sutton. Don't do that.
Mims, I'm taking him over Cedric Tillman. Cedric Tillman. By the
I
way,
think it's close, but I'm going
this
Broncos.
is the Cedric. Hold on. Let me remind you. This is the Cedric Tillman that got hit between the 1 and the 9 on 4th down and jumped for no reason to catch the football.
That's true.
And got tackled on the end around last week.
And was consistently running the routes wrong last year.
Okay.
and Bull, who's your last one before
The
we-
last hope, fellas.
Chargers.
No.
It's the Raiders.
No. Although I forgot about the Raiders.
It
But
is
the Raiders just smoked us
I was
with
going
those
to say
guys.
the Patriots.
Okay.
Okay.
Read them off.
Nah, yeah,
Read them off.
Kendrick Bourne.
KB, that's my boy.
Yeah, but Jerry Judy's better than Kendrick Bourne.
KB.
Keep going.
Jalen Polk, Demario Douglas.
Jalen Polk's a rookie, and Demario Douglas.
I like Jalen Polk.
You need to stop.
I like
It's in the
Jalen.
And then who's the
conversation.
Raiders
You would
have?
take the Browns over that. Stop
Jacoby
it.
Myers and the guys that killed the Browns that we never heard of.
Trey
before.
Tucker.
Yeah, Trey Tucker.
Trey Tucker.
Oh yeah,
That guy's only had that one game against the Browns.
but he's faster than everybody combined.
I'm going to
for the Browns.
say
I'm taking the Browns over the Raiders and
and the Patriots.
And the Patriots.
Because Jerry Judy's better than any of
Y'all,
those.
you need to stop.
I'm going 30th ranked. I'm going 30th ranked. Now,
But
if
remember,
you
they
go,
were
if
fine
you
with
go,
That is sad.
if you go just wide receiver, they're 30th, in my opinion. I'm with you, Tyvis, for wide receiving core. If you go just wide receiver 2 to the end, then they're 32nd,
Wait.
no doubt.
And
You know
by the
the
way-
sick thing is,
And by the way, what would make it the worst is that they go 5 wide on their own goal line with that receiving core.
Yeah, and and they told us we love our receiving core all summer long, and we knew that,
that
was a
was
lie
the
from the
sickest
get-go.
part.
5 wide.
We got Julius there.
From
oh
one
yeah,
bad
we rolled
receiving